What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast. I got a special guest here. My friend Chris Allen say reach out to him. I promise you he's going to be somebody great for you to interview. What's up? How you doing today?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. How about you?
Man, I'm blessed, man. So let the people know a little bit about you.
All right, so yeah, man, it's pretty straight to the point. My name's Tony Hadnight. I am a professional photographer. My business is called Different Mind Designs, and I basically specialize in portraiture. I do headshots. I do a lot of branding and commercial and real estate. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, man.
So I want to get into your lens. So
Okay.
when I say get into your lens is get into your creative process.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. Like I hear you say the word portrait.
Yeah.
So explain the difference between a regular photographer and a portrait photographer.
Okay, so a portrait photographer really specializes in capturing a person's what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you could call it like their essence.
Okay.
One of the, at least this is from my own perspective.
I got
Everybody do their own.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
One of the things that I do when I first get with a person before I do a shoot is I always ask, well, how comfortable are you in front of the camera, just to kind of get the response, and I know what the response is going to be.
You already know.
They're gonna be like, oh. But you know, really and truly, man, I guess being a portrait photographer is really just more about having an exchange of energy with those people.
Ooh, that's good.
It is because, and it's funny because I was just doing one earlier today, but it's like the energy that I give you. I'm just saying, you know, I need you to give me some energy back. A lot of times when when it comes to being a portrait photographer, a lot of people expect the photographer to do all the work, and yes, we do pull a lot of the weight in the moment.
Come on.
But at the end of the day, it depends on you. You have to work with me. Because if you don't give me that good energy,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna show. And I can only do so much for
So you trying to pull it out of them.
Yes, I have to pull it out of them. And really and truly, man, it's just about giving them a good experience. You know, it's not about, I don't think it's so much about the equipment that you use.
Okay.
I don't think it's so much about your technical know-how. I'm not saying that those things are not important, but I think it's really just about giving them an overall totally like great experience, and that's what I'm all about. So.
And I like that though, because to me, to be a content creator or photographer, you still got to have some kind of creativity.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I think that a lot of people, me personally, I met photographers that don't give me no energy.
Yeah.
And they don't even tell you no pose. Man, help a brother do something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you definitely like you definitely cannot just sit there and click the camera. Like it's funny because like a lot of times when I'm in studio, I'm a little bit more quieter.
Okay.
But like I know I'm feeling a little calm right now. But if you catch me in them streets, man, I'm out there in the public. I tell people I don't care about these people around me.
Come on.
I'm doing my best to bring it out of you. So you're gonna hear me get loud. I'm gonna be rolling around on the floor. I'm doing all kind of crazy stuff. When
I
I'm
love
out there
it. So. I love it. So what's been some of your hardest shoots though? Is it the daytime or nighttime?
You know, that's a funny story, man. So when I have to tell it in order to get to the answer.
Tell it. We listening.
So when I first got into photography, I wasn't necessarily interested in it. And so when I got a camera, I had to learn the fundamentals of it. And so I would always hear people say, oh, well, nighttime photography is the hardest stuff. And I was like, I'm that guy. I'm challenge accepted, you know? So so when I would go out with the camera, me and my homeboy would go out, we'd just go take pictures of the city and stuff like that at night. And so eventually I started working with people, and my very first portrait session was at night, and it was terrible.
Terrible.
But at the time I thought it was dope. But of course I own my skill, and that's where I kind of became known for was the nighttime stuff. The drawback to that though was that although I could shoot at night, now I had a hard time learning how to shoot during the day. So I had to learn all over again how to shoot during the day.
That's good.
I would say the short answer to that probably would be daytime photography. But honestly, man, I can kind of navigate both worlds at this point. Yeah.
So you're a person that you rather be in the studio or you rather be out there? Because, you know, you got some photographers, they feel like, man, studio is where they do their best work. You got some photographers say, I like to go out there and do my thing. So which one is you?
I would probably say outdoor. It really kind of comes in waves.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, definitely outdoors for sure.
And the reason I ask, because I mean, I'm like, man, y'all do some. To me, a photo can tell a story that's so amazing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just, are you really big on straight out the lens? Or are you more of a let me color grade, let me edit the photo? Because you know what I mean. This is
So there's two answers to that, right?
Okay.
For me personally, I prefer it to be straight out of the lens. One of the things that I always try to promote is just self-positivity. I mean, let's be honest. People, when they get in front of the camera, especially when they're paying you, they want to look their best.
Yes.
So they kind of have that expectation of the edited, photoshopped, and all that stuff. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it.
Okay.
However, you know, I got bills too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, man, for me, yes, I would rather kind of capture you in your most natural state as possible. You know, I'm just one of them ones that believe that everything is beautiful, man.
So okay. So I had to ask this question because as you shooting all these photos, like what's been some of your best work? Like, has it been weddings? Has it been graduation? Has it been engagements? What's been some of your?
You know what? The best photo shoots that I've ever had is usually working with athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I have a friend that actually runs a sports magazine locally here in Houston, and he has access to a lot of the athletes that are from the area, whether they're super professional or whether they're professional but just may not be well known, but they're out doing great things. But one of the coolest thing about working with them, at least most of them, is that they don't really bring any type of like diva energy.
Oh,
you know how it is.
Yeah,
Some people when they're in a certain space, they kind of carry themselves. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to bash, but they're very down to earth. They're very genuine. A lot of times they're very appreciative, and they usually give me my best work.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to like creativity, do you do when you do your photo your shots? Do you do video?
No.
So you know video. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I understand it, and I have friends that I collaborate with on all the time. If they need like a second shooter or something like that. Nah, man, I'm all about that still life.
Which is good. I mean, because some people say they like both. So
yeah,
100%. I think it takes two different kind of skill sets though.
100%. I do feel like that they go hand in hand. I mean, and there's a fundamental to know both, but they are ultimately very, very, very different. And I personally just don't have the patience to learn it. So
I ain't mad at you. So are you more of a PC or Apple guy?
I'm preferable to Apple.
Okay.
But my bank account, the way my bank account's set up, I can only do PC, man.
I'm with you. I have to ask that question because some of us, I'm a PC. I mean, not a PC. I'm an Apple guy.
Yeah.
And my wife get really mad at me because I buy expensive Apple products.
Yeah.
But I love Apple.
Hey, but the Apple, the thing about Apple though, man, is that it's less likely of a chance you're gonna run into some issues with that bad boy, man. That PC, there'll be times I'll be in the middle of editing a session and it wanna do its own thing. It wanna freeze up, it wanna crash. Photoshop be like, nah, I ain't having it today. So nah, that Apple is where it's at.
My friend told me years ago before I bought Apple, he's like, man, when you gonna get off that piece of crap?
That's what he said?
Yeah, that's PC.
Wow.
He said PC is a piece of crap. When you get off of that and come spend some real money. I'm like, oh man. Ever since then, I bought an Apple phone. I'm like, I'm Appled out. So I just think it's important though that people get to, to watch you create. So let me ask you a question. So you meeting a couple, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a single person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you prepare your shots that you're trying to get from them, or are you the freestyle type? When we get there, we're gonna shoot.
So it's usually a mix of both. A lot of times, whenever somebody is ready to go do a shoot and they're ready to book, whatever.
Okay.
I usually try to ask, what kind of theme are you going for? What mood are you going for? And even if you have to, send me reference photos just so I can kind of get an idea. But ultimately, man, I'm more of a freestyle kind of guy.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I'm saying this. Nobody's probably even heard. What is this camera?
Yeah, they're right there.
So honestly, man, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants on this. I swear, every photo shoot that I get ready to go, and I'll be like, Lord, please let this thing go right. But I mean, at the end of the day, I always try to kind of leave myself open. And that's only because, sometimes I'm going to a location and I'm not familiar with. Never been there before.
I got you.
Or anything like that. I'm dealing with personalities that I never dealt with.
Good.
I'm dealing with so many different variables to where it's kind of hard to necessarily plan it per se. I mean, you can only do so much, but at the end of the day, when it's game time, even though you may have plans, all that will go out of the window. So you kind of have to learn how to adapt to the situation. And that's usually one of my best assets when it comes to doing photo shoots.
And I ask that because, so many times, like, to me, a lot of photographers, especially up and coming photographers, I think they need to learn from guys like yourself.
Okay,
And I think they do, but I think so many people want to be self-efficient.
Yeah,
they don't want to like, I'm gonna just learn as I go. Versus like, make sure your camera settings is right.
Yeah,
make sure you got the right lens. Those are the things that people need to understand.
That is important. One of the things about being a photographer 100%, as far as from the technical aspect of it,
I got you.
You have to learn how to pay attention to detail. There's just no way, because there's been many a days I've gone out there and had the wrong set and just not thinking about it. I mean, no, have you a checklist in that aspect? Like, make sure that you have your memory cards. There's been times I've gone to photo shoots and forgot to bring my camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and by the grace of God, I learned how to use my Apple iPhone Pro 11 Pro Max and a LED light. But yes, be prepared and understand your equipment, understand the settings, pay attention to detail, and just rock out, man. That's pretty much it.
All right, so which one, if you had to pick, which I don't know what you're gonna pick, which one is more important to you, photography or videography? And you're a photographer though, but which one you think, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I gotta ask.
Okay.
Is this in relation to content creation in general, or?
This is in relation to getting the customer something that they can appreciate for long term.
Oh, I think photography all day.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I think video is dope. I think video is dope. But for some odd reason, I feel like photos just kind of have more of a lasting impact.
I got you.
When we leave this earth, somebody need that photo to put on that program.
Oh,
you know
that's good. That's good.
And honestly, man, portraits I think that's the whole purpose of having a portrait, is to have something that people can remember you by. We may not necessarily leave a legacy from a grand scheme of things, but you are leaving a legacy to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So good. I think personally, portraits and photos, in my opinion, are more important, but I could be biased as well.
Okay. I asked that question because, sometimes people are like, man, I'm the guy, if you shoot me and my wife, I'm bringing my own camera behind the scenes anyway.
Oh,
so I'm that guy.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, especially in this day and age. Honestly, I feel like people are more appreciative of the process than the actual result.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that's just because people want to feel kind of involved.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
So have you had any what's the word I'm looking for? Unsatisfied customers?
Oh, all the time.
At the end of
all
put your work in?
All the time. Look, man, look. I don't care how much talent you have. Lord. I don't care how skilled you are. I don't care what your reputation is like.
Lord.
Every shoot is not going to be a good shoot. And it can go from both ends. It could be from my end as the photographer.
Okay.
It could just not be a good day. It happens. But it could also be from the client's perspective.
Okay.
Again, it's if when they see your work, they have a certain expectation.
So hold on, before you continue that, do you think the client always right? Yes or no?
From a business standpoint, yes. With a grain of salt.
Okay.
With a grain of salt.
I'm just asking because, I mean, I deal with a lot of customers. So whether it's podcast customers, whether it's video customers, whether it's helping customers on their digital product, I deal with a lot of customers. So is the customer always right when they don't even understand the product? That's really the real question.
Yeah, it's such a case by case scenario.
I got you.
But I would say yes with a grain of salt, because there are things that they just don't understand that you do, and I guess that's your role as the service provider to educate them and then somehow come to some sort of resolution.
So are you more of a high end photographer, or are you more of the low end? Because let me say the difference. Some people say, "Oh, I charge $450 an hour." Some people say, "I only charge $100 an hour."
Yeah.
So I mean,
I call myself more of a middle ground photographer.
Okay.
I do my best not to shoot myself in the foot, but I also understand that this economy is this economy.
Yes.
And so, these folks are trying to get by just like I am. So,
yeah.
I do my best to try to work with them as best as possible. But I'm definitely like, at the end of the day, I still got to pay rent.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So give us like 3 things that you learned about photography that you can give to the up and coming photographers that you want them to know not to do.
Wow, that was heavy. 3 things that a photographer, up and coming photographer, can learn not to do.
Yes.
Well, 1, make sure that you don't forget any equipment.
Okay. Okay.
Be attentive to detail, man. Pay very, very, very much attention because it can be very embarrassing to show up without your camera. I'm telling you, you feel real crunchy. What's another one? Man, that's a good question. Woo, boy, the challenge is for real today. What's another one? I think another one is, I guess from a business standpoint, and that goes to earlier.
That's cool.
Never tell somebody that they're wrong.
Okay, I got you.
Never tell somebody that they're wrong. Even when you know that they are, you shouldn't tell them that. Like,
okay, I got you.
That's where you just take an opportunity to educate them in an area where you're a little bit more knowledgeable than they are. Because everybody doesn't understand what we do.
That's true.
And then lastly, I guess this could be from a photographer's standpoint. Everything does not have to be wide open aperture.
Okay.
Open aperture. Okay, I love the beautiful blurred backdrops and all that good stuff, but sometimes it's just not necessary.
Okay, so you know why I asked you that question? Because I need to know, do you have a course on it?
Do I have a course on it? I don't. And you know what's funny?
Come on.
I have so many people asking me what I do, how I do, and so on and so forth. But I have to be honest, man. I am just not confident enough to get there.
Okay. That's a straight up answer. So, I mean, I'm asking this question because I think a lot of times we got a lot of information.
Yeah.
And we haven't packaged it up to sell it. When on the back end, on the front end, you can make money with your clients, but on the back end, you can make money with people who want to learn.
Facts.
You know what
100%.
I'm saying? And I think a lot of times people they don't want to share what they know. They feel like people are going to steal their business. But me personally, I think that your tribe is your vibe. Your vibe is your tribe.
Oh,
so
100%.
You're going to attract the right people to you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's cool that you say that, because now I will say that when people do ask certain things, well, what settings did you have, or how do you do this, how you do that, I don't mind necessarily sharing information. I feel like again, we all can eat.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as like doing a whole course,
no.
For one, my time just ain't there, especially right now.
I got you.
I gotta build up that confidence to get there, man. And that's all me. I know that.
I got you. So some of the mistakes that you have learned in the last couple of years, going forward, how are you not going to make them mistakes? Like, what are some things you're going to correct?
Let's see, mistakes. So is this just in general?
Yeah, just the photography in general. Like, you might be like, damn, I made this mistake. Because, me, I critique myself. So really hard, especially right now on this podcast. I'm like, okay, is this camera right? This camera
right?
You don't see it, but if you can, we're recording, but my brain is processing like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So this is, and usually my mistakes come from unsatisfied customers.
Okay.
So a lot of times, for instance, I had one young lady. I'm not gonna say her name or anything.
No, don't put it out there.
She wasn't necessarily happy with the way that I cropped the photo and all this other stuff.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to pay more attention to cropping in certain situations. So, like, cropping is definitely one thing.
Okay.
Skin retouching is definitely another. Some people want the super glossy look. Some people don't. Some people want the in between. So, really just trying to learn how people, I guess, ask the questions of how they want to be represented in the beginning.
Okay, I like that.
Pay attention to that, and so I can kind of learn from that. And then what's one more?
It just makes you think about, like, some of the things.
Right. I can't think of another one right off the bat.
But that's good though, because a lot of times I just think, like, as a business owner, I'm always trying to critique and make like everything better.
Have to,
but I can't be perfect. But I can try to be almost.
You can do. You have. You definitely have to give 100%, 110%. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm with you there.
So you have up and coming photographer. He like, man. He look at your photos. He like, no way I can shoot like that. How can you give them the confidence so that they can shoot like that?
Well, one is to tell them to just stay consistent. I think that's the most important thing than anything. You can be great at, you can be talented. You can have the work ethic and all this other stuff, but if you are not consistent and you don't go out there and actually do it, you'll never grow from it, you know. And then it kind of goes back to the mistakes things too. You know, if you make a mistake, you know, identify that mistake and then learn from it and grow from it. So it's just really about practicing, and just kind of playing around with it, you know. There are a lot of this may be a pejorative term to some, but there are a lot of gearheads out there who are focused on that, and that's cool. I do feel like the equipment that you use plays a role to some extent.
I got you.
But at the end of the day, if you go out there and you just mess around with it, at the end of the day, a light's a light, a camera's a camera, you know, setting is a setting, so on and so forth. You just have to learn how to just, again, adapt to the situation that you're in. And you just stay with it, you know. Everything's not going to look the same. Everything's not going to be perfect. But as long as you stay with it, you will get to that. Like, you'll get there. And I don't even think I'm, like, that great. I'm still going. I'm still learning as I go. So,
so you got featured in a magazine. What was your mindset? What was your feeling like?
So it's crazy, man. Are you talking about the most recent one?
Yes, the most recent one I
saw. The DSM?
Yes.
That was actually really cool, man. It's so funny. I was just out in DC with another magazine previously doing a shoot. And so I came back and like 3 days later, they were like, hey, we're looking for a photographer to do a photo shoot. And I'm like, I almost did not take it.
Oh, wow.
I almost didn't take it because sometimes you never know who you're dealing with. Some people be trying to, you know,
too much.
They be trying to do you in. So I was like, all right, let me entertain it. So I replied, you know, hey, well, give me a little bit more info. And so they were like, yeah, it's a celebrity. And so when I found out who it was, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm a fan. I saw her in concert a few years ago. I like her.
Come on.
So the mindset was kind of like, at that time, the mindset, I was shocked and I was excited, but I don't necessarily get as shocked and excited as I used to.
Okay, I got you.
Only because it's not necessarily my first rodeo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Been there and done that.
Yeah, I done kind of been there and done that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, when you work, you know, whether you're a fan or not, if you work with certain people, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, that's dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was cool. I was excited.
So, and the thing is, I tell people all the time, like, creativity is so important when it comes to photography or videography. It's your wheels gotta be turning. So is there any aspiring photographers you see that you like, man, if I can do that? Or not really?
Oh, I'm inspired by photographers all the time, man. I am a big fan. There's one guy out there named Brandon Wolfel who does just mind-blowing stuff. Despite her controversy, I am a fan of Annie Leibovitz. She's of course one of the biggest photographers in the world right now.
One of the goats.
Chimodu, you know, God rest his soul. If you don't know who Chimodu is, you've definitely seen his work. And anytime you see that picture of Tupac smoking the blunt like this, the black and white, that was Chimodu's work. So yeah, there's several. I mean, and then of course, you know, you got your Gordon Parks, you got your James Van Der Zee, I believe his name is. He does some pretty cool stuff. So there's a lot of people out there that I look and kind of draw inspiration from. Not necessarily from a technical aspect, but just from a creative space. It's just like, man, how can I do that? You know.
So my question to you also would be like, how important is creativity when it comes to photography? Like how important is it? Do you have to be creative, or is it the camera doing all the work?
No. You definitely. So you definitely have to be creative if you want to take it to a level. If you aspire to be to a certain level. I mean, you can go out there and shoot on auto, and I'm not gonna bash you for that. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, the result's a result. And if you can find a way to be creative and letting the camera do the work and still make it look the way you want, that's cool. But I do feel like if you really learn your camera, understand the settings, you have a better chance of getting the results that you absolutely want without, you know, having to worry about going in and saying, oh, well, I should have did this. Like you get it right when you get it right. So yeah.
So is the pose more important, or is the camera angle more important?
Look, it's a combination of both. I would probably say the angle, because the pose is there.
Okay.
But you could shoot that same pose and from many different aspects and get totally different results. So yeah, I would say the angle.
Okay,
yeah,
okay. Because I always want to know, like, man, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do a lot of video work, so I'm like, okay, sometimes when a person walking, do you want to hit their feet? Do you want to hit the angle? Like, it's the creativity.
I think the angle definitely has a better way of telling the story in a sense. Yeah. So I would go with the angle.
So do you touch a lot of pictures up, or you just here are the photos?
I'm usually touching them up most of the time. Okay. Yeah. Again, these people paying me to get a service, so I look, this is what you got, and sometimes I touch up more than I actually want to.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So do you realize people want more digital, or do you get them printed out?
So in this day, it really depends on the situation.
Okay.
Of course, it's 2024, man. Print is a little, I don't want to say it's obsolete, but we're living in the age of Instagram.
Okay.
So everybody want that picture. They want to go ahead and upload it straight to social media, to the internet, and so on and so forth.
Get their likes.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, definitely more digital than anything.
So criticism as a photographer, like, how do you tell the next generation or the next people is how to accept that criticism on their work?
You have to be able to develop a thick skin.
Okay.
When you first get into it, yeah, somebody you think you the one out there and did something great and all this other stuff, and somebody got something to say, and then your world gets shattered. And I've been there before. But at the end of the day, like I said, I tell people all the time, man, photography, just like anything else in the creative world, is art, and art ultimately is subjective. So just because this person criticized your work doesn't mean that this person won't appreciate it. So you kind of have to take it. You kind of have to take it for what it is, and then just go from there. If it affects you in a way that it makes you feel like you want to improve, then improve from it. But don't change who you are and the way that you work just because somebody said that it was quote unquote trash or whatever.
Oh man. So do you recommend somebody go to school for photography, or do they learn from somebody who already been doing it?
I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy.
Okay.
So, and that's honestly how I learned.
Okay.
I feel like if you can go to school for it, if you want to go to school for it, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. But
is there a need to go to school?
I don't think there's a need to go to school with it.
Okay.
There are a lot of people out here who get it just from trial and error, and now they're millionaires.
Yeah. I like that because we've been so trained to like, man, you got to go to school can teach you this. But to me, I'm thinking we're in a new mindset economy of younger entrepreneurs that don't want to take on that $100,000 school loan.
No. That's a very traditionalist mindset, man. I, like you said, that's a conditioning that we need to break. Are there certain professions where you need to go to school? Yeah, if you want to be a doctor, you got to work on somebody's body. You need to know that. If you want to be a lawyer, yes, you need to understand the law. But in this creative space, man, you really don't. I don't think you need that. If you want to go understand the fundamentals, if you're not a creative by nature, but you want to live in that realm, then by all means, I feel like you may need it. But for the most part, if you're in it, if you're a creative is a creative through and through. Like I don't think that's something that you can learn. I think that's something that there are things that you can learn from, but I don't think it's something that you learn. I think that's just something it's just there. So I don't think school is necessary for that.
So if I had to ask you a question, what makes you different than most photographers? What would you tell me?
What makes me different from most photographers is, again, I don't really go off of skill level. I don't go off of talent. I go off of energy and experience.
Okay.
I do my best to make sure that you feel good, that you feel comfortable, that you're having a good time, you're loose, you're relaxed, and then we're just gonna go out here and have some fun, man. That's it.
So if you was in a contest and you had to pick one of the three to do your best work.
Okay.
Would it be a wedding, an engagement party, or a party?
Ooh, Lord.
So which one?
None of the above. So I think it would be more so, I'm definitely not doing a wedding. Now, Jesus. I commend any photographer that does weddings.
Okay.
I'll probably just say a party, man.
A party?
Only because it's more candid. I'm not really big on events. Just because I'm like, if you hire me to go do an event for like 6 hours, like it's a little different video
I
because
got
you can capture that. But as a photographer, there's only so many times I can catch people dancing on a dance floor.
That's
like
true.
so many shots I can get somebody talking on the microphone. So you don't need me for 5 hours. I can stay there for like 2 and get the job done, unless there's certain moments that is like there are key moments that are happening during the event. But I would probably just say a party. It's just more candid. I can kind of have fun. Nobody's pulling me to the side and all this. I'm just doing my thing.
So a couple or a person that's by themselves, which one you prefer to shoot? If you had to pick one.
Oh, I definitely like to work one-on-one.
Okay.
I'm a lot of people don't think that I am. I'm socially awkward, man. I'm kind of an introvert. So like the more intimate the setting, the more comfortable I am. Therefore, I can make them comfortable.
I got you.
Don't get it twisted. Like if somebody's taking a picture by themselves, they're not always 100% by themselves.
That's true.
I usually try to encourage that anyway. Like bring somebody that you're comfortable with, so that you can feel comfortable. But yeah, short answer, definitely one person.
Okay, I got you. I know because some people love shooting couples.
Oh yeah, I do it. It's fun, but if I could do one, I would just work with one person. That's it.
So are you the photographer that you shoot your photos and let them look at it? Or are you shooting you done?
I do a little bit of both, man. Like so like I said, I get a little crazy when I'm out in the streets. So you know how Jay-Z, when he hears something dope, he be like, "Woo."
Yeah.
I do that with the photos.
Okay.
Like I'll go through it. As I'm doing the photo shoot, if I look at that shot and I see that money shot out, woo, and hey, look.
I love it.
But usually they get everything after the shoot. But I always try to kind of show them a little bit just so they can kind of just have that much more confidence in me, so they can build that trust, just so they can know that they're getting the quality that they're paying for.
So I gotta ask this question.
Yeah.
So are you the photographer that's taking 2 weeks to give me my pictures back? Or are you gonna give them back in like 3 or 4 days?
Nah, it's gonna be a couple days, man. I'm trying to get them bad boys out of there. All that editing is not the most fun process. But I don't want to pay nobody to do it because I know what I do.
Yes. I'm with you though. That's why I asked that question, because some people be like, man, I had a photographer one time, I had my picture for like 3 weeks. I'm like,
yeah, 3 weeks is too long.
I'm like, bro, can I get my pictures, please?
That's too long.
Please. I mean,
yeah.
Don't worry. Well, I'm trying to edit. I'm like, bro.
Now I will.
I understand. I got you.
I will. I don't know if it's a justification. Okay. There are certain photographers that are much busier than I am, so I could probably see why a 3-week wait would take place. But I mean, I'm pretty consistent, and I'm usually a couple days is max. You know what I'm saying?
Then my wife get involved. She like, well, we ain't using him no more.
I got one of those too. I get that.
Well, he taking that long. I mean, ain't nobody that busy. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a game of patience, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. But then when we got the photo, she was like, oh yeah, I love him.
Oh yeah.
But she fussed all the way to the 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, 3 weeks is kind of lengthy though. I won't lie.
It's pretty long. Photography, because I just, man, I want to have that picture that they remember, like, this guy was the one that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Are you saying like which photo I've taken that?
Yes.
So there was this one photo I did. I guess it's important to me.
Okay.
That's this one photo of this young lady, and this was when it was like very early in my career. It was one of them, hey, I just need to build my portfolio up. Let's go out and go shoot. And we were out at Discovery Green. Discovery Green, they have that right there in front of George Brown Center. They have that fountain.
Oh, yeah.
Right there on the side of the fountain, the sidewalk lights up. And this is before I had any lighting equipment. I was just out there naked camera and ambient lighting.
Shooting.
And this young lady, I took a picture of her where she was sitting in a chair and she had her legs crossed. And when that light cascaded through and it lit her up so well, I timed it just so right. That photo was like the photo that kind of really made me want to pursue it like for real. And it kind of gave me an identity. So I would say it would be that one. I wish I could show it to y'all, but I'd have to put my phone up to the camera or something.
So the next question is, how much you think for a young photographer, if you had to give him a price, how much for him to get started with the equipment? to do good work though? Because there's a lot of cheap cameras out there that don't do good work.
I would say a decent budget to get
started,
to get like, I guess, great photos per se. It'd probably be a budget of maybe about $3,000. You know, the camera's going to be the meat of it, because your camera buys an affordable camera. Camera is going to run you about $1,500. You know, that's with the lens and all that stuff included. And then you can get lighting for maybe about $300-400.
Gotcha.
You know, so and of course you're going to need stands and all that other stuff. So
$3,000.
I think a good $3,000 would be a good start.
Okay, because I need people to know, because some people might be like, well, because I'm gonna have your information popping up. They're gonna be looking, and it was like, ooh, because even when I looked at your quality, I was like, oh yeah, he ain't playing.
You know what's funny though, man? A lot of that, the earlier stuff, I ain't have none of that. I had a little Nikon D3300.
Come on.
And it was just me and the people. That was it. So with that being said, I think in order to have a good setup, yes, it would cost about $3,000. But at the end of the day, I think it's really not so much about the equipment, but more about how to use it and understanding your surroundings. And again, it's just about adaptability.
Because for about 6 months, I had this equipment.
Yeah.
And didn't know how to use it. So I went out and spent like $10,000. I'm like, man, oh my God. Okay, this has to be plugged up to this. That was 2 months to figure this, that, and pour out. And you go to YouTube, and it's like, YouTube got you all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody giving you the answer.
But you know, with podcasts, I think you kind of have to have all this stuff. So that's a different beast right there.
But I'm saying, especially when you want the high quality.
100%.
You know, of course, I tell people all the time, look, just record with your phone and do an audio. Yeah. You know, but if you're trying to do the video and all that, and man, that ain't including the edit, and it's a lot going on.
It's like we said prior to us doing this, man. Before we started recording, is you gotta start somewhere.
You do.
Just start.
You do. That's big facts.
Yeah.
So, if you got a time capsule, okay, and we need to leave, it's about this big, this high, this big, and we need to leave 3 things in that time capsule for the world to remember you by. Okay. What's gonna be in there?
It's gonna be my camera.
Okay.
Probably a bag with my afro in it.
Come on. We gotta talk about that in a second.
and man, I don't know, probably like a pair of Timbs or something like that. People know me from wearing Timbs a lot.
I love it. So the afro, where's this? We in 2020?
Yeah.
I mean, but I think it's very unique though.
It is.
So
it is. You know what, man? I don't know. I don't have a specific answer to that question.
Okay.
It just so happened that one day I was like, man, I'm just not gonna cut my hair no more. But I think it's just kind of a part of finding my identity in a way.
And I think it's very noticeable. I think people know you for
it is, especially now because it's turning gray on me. But but yeah, I think it's just more of an identity thing because I started growing it well before I started doing photography, and it just so happened that when I started, now when people are looking for me, they're like, "Well, I didn't see the afro," you know. So yeah, I think it's just more of an identity thing, man. I just kind of. I really don't know. I love it though.
Okay. So the next 3 to 5 years, all right, where you see yourself going with your business, your photography? Is there anything monumental that you want to shoot? Or like, where you see yourself?
I do. I definitely want to shoot from like a major magazine.
Okay.
Probably, I want to shoot for like an Essence.
Okay.
But I also want to shoot for like a Vanity Fair. I want to shoot for a Rolling Stone. I definitely want to get like up there in a space to where I can kind of be like that guy known for shooting that monumental photo. Again, you know, good. Like those Annie Leibovitz who's known for shooting that photo of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. You know, I want to kind of create something like that, just something very memorable. I want to shoot things that are very conversation heavy. I want to shoot something kind of controversial that really kind of tells a story and creates dialogue, you know? So that's kind of where I want to be at. I really want to get people talking. I want to create a buzz, you know? I love doing the portraits where the girl got her hand on her hips and doing the Instagram posts and stuff like that. But I really want to get into a more of a creative space where I can really tell a story and maybe even put a message behind it.
Ooh, that's good.
You know? So yeah.
So do you see yourself having your own studio?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Oh yeah. I definitely want a
Okay.
studio.
Okay. Well, why?
Because I think that it allows me to really display me.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I can create the studio that I want instead of relying on
Renting out others.
what other people have, and I can make use of it. That's cool, but I really want to create the studio that screams Different Mind Designs. So yeah,
I love that. So where the name come from? Different Mind Designs. Like, let's talk about that name.
Well, because I'm an Aquarius and we're the weirdos of the zodiac signs.
My birthday. Hey, listen. My birthday is January 21st.
Oh, okay.
I will be 44.
Team Aquarius. Yes, sir.
Yes. I'll be 44 years old.
But yeah, I growing up, man, I've always been the different kid. I've always been the creative.
Me too.
Socially awkward, a little weird, a little different. Never really knew how to fit in per se. Even when I tried to, I just had to come to an understanding that I don't. And so,
yes,
I know that I can sometimes think very objectively. People don't always agree with me, but that's not a bad thing. So, I think that when it came to coming up with a name, I was like, well, I've always just kind of been different. So I was just like, why not Different Mind Designs? But it's funny because Different Mind Designs was not originally a photography company.
Oh wow, what was it?
I did graphic design. And so when my Instagram, it's crazy. My Instagram page, if you go way back, which you'd be scrolling forever,
yes,
you'd see nothing but that. Artwork, illustration.
So what you used to use?
So I used to use like Photoshop, Illustrator.
Because some people think they're using Canva, they're graphic designer.
Canva is not graphic.
Let them make it.
Canva's drag and drop, but yeah, I'm gonna let them make it. But anyway, yeah, it started off as a graphic design company, but that's kind of it. Kind of helped me transition into photography because I went through a phase where I was designing graphic T-shirts. And so when I was telling my wife, I was like, "Hey, I want to market these T-shirts, and I got to get people wearing these shirts." Ironically, I didn't want to pay a photographer to do it.
Come on.
I ended up getting a camera, and then the photography thing just kind of took off, and I just never changed the name to Different Mind Photography. And now Different Mind Designs, that sounds weird, Different Mind Photography. So I just stuck with Different Mind Designs. So
I want to touch on. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to hurt the people's heart too much.
Yeah.
So many people think they're graphic designers because they use the Canva.
Yeah.
But the real people like me and you, I have a graphic design degree.
Yeah.
I know graphic design is way more than a whole bunch of templates set up and changing the name.
Yeah, no. You graphic design. Well, for one thing, especially when it comes to creative people.
Yes.
People, when creating a logo, there's a difference between a logo.
Come on.
And a full out illustration. Okay. When you want a logo, I don't want to have a tiger sitting next to you on a brick wall with a car right here, this, that, and the other. A logo should be very simple.
Yes.
Maybe 2 or 3 colors at most. Maybe a word.
That's it.
And that's it. You tell your story with that one symbol to identify yourself with that brand. So yes, that's what makes a graphic designer a graphic designer. Is understanding how to use shapes and colors and all these things to tell a message without overdoing it.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people, man. Yeah, I'm a graphic designer. I said, what you use? I use Canva.
Canva. And that's no knock. I mean, I get it. We in a weird economy right now, so you gotta do what you gotta do. But if you really want quality, please pay a graphic designer.
Or become one.
or become one. Yes,
it's a lot of work. People are like, oh yeah, man, I can use somebody said, oh, I know how to remove my background. I could just go to remove.bg. I was like,
that's not.
Not nothing.
No.
But I'm not the person to hurt nobody's feelings. Hey,
it's called the pen tool, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't start talking about masking and all that.
Yeah. See, I'm there.
Oh, so you tell me, do you know how to use the lasso?
Yeah, right.
That's too deep. That's above their head.
Yeah. Huh? That's, that picture of Nick Young with the question marks.
Yeah, that's crazy though. It's crazy. So this time I want to pass the ball to you. And is there any question you want to ask me?
Man, then I'd be interviewing you.
No, I like to. I always told since I've been interviewing people, I had something I wanted to ask you, so I always like try to pass them the ball.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, then I'll come back.
Yeah. So, I did ask earlier, but I guess for the camera, what really got you into doing this podcast?
Man, you know what? I've been on YouTube since it first started.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you tenured.
So I'm gonna make you laugh. Don't laugh too hard. Just laugh a little bit. I've been on YouTube since, man, I'm about to show you the younger version of me.
Okay.
And so this is the younger version of me. You already hear how it sound. Here you go right here. Come on. Here you go. This is the young version of me.
And this was back when YouTube first started?
Yeah.
It's a lot better than what I would have done. So I'm not going to laugh at you too hard.
So this was when I was so young, man, trying to just get my message out there.
Yeah.
And I had, my cousin was filming me.
Yeah.
And so I was just like doing crazy videos. I mean, I got so many crazy videos on YouTube.
So was the message all about like
It's always been about why now is your time.
So why now is your time?
I had this vision since 1998.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't start massaging it and perfecting it until about 2010, 2011.
Yeah. So because
I had to go to work. Because I was trying to be an entrepreneur. I started my first business at 18.
Yeah.
A video game company. Yes. It was called Digital Elements.
Oh,
Epic fail. Then I started a graphic design company, which was called Creative Ambition.
Okay.
It did decent.
Yeah.
And then I needed help. And my family said, good luck, brother. You need to go to work because we don't know nothing about that entrepreneurship stuff.
Yeah.
And so, man, and now we here.
Okay.
And now we do podcasting. We do digital products. Now we're in the process of building our own studio.
Okay.
So
basically, since you said you've been on YouTube since the beginning, so you've seen all of the platforms. You've seen YouTube, you've seen the Facebook, you've seen the Instagram, so on and so forth.
And I'm on all of them right now.
How easy was it for you to navigate through all that and adapt to be able to still get your message out?
I always been into editing. I was the kid that was like, oh, I want to shoot my own movies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got a beeper, but I still want to know how they do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was always the kid that was always trying to figure out how to create. So even like the editors that we have here, I'm the player and the coach.
Okay.
So I edit every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love edit. I love creating new video, new content.
Right.
So navigating through it has changed, but it's still the same.
Right.
And so you have to adapt with reels.
Yes.
So people do like long form, but I chop this video up into short form too.
Yeah.
But they love long form too.
So, so to piggyback off of that, the long form and short form, what do you feel is better and what's working for you between the two?
Both.
The
reason why is I try to post 2 to 3 videos a day of short form. All right, which is 45, 60 seconds. Then I have people, my audience, that say, man, I love the podcast when you have different people. You know what I'm saying? They love, what you're saying, they like looking, he did. You're going to inspire somebody.
Yeah, 100%.
But then you have another group of people that say, hey, you need to go by yourself.
Right.
I want you to do a podcast by yourself.
Right.
And so you have those people too. So
yeah.
To me, it's the mystery. They did a survey though.
Really?
2023, they did a survey. They did it to, I think they said 3.4 million people, something like that.
Wow.
They said 2% say they want to read. 7% say they read to listen. And 89% say they want to watch.
Okay. So with that being said, because I've been following you for a little bit now. You have quite the following. What do you feel is more important or more impactful on your following to be able to amass such a following? Is it consistency or is it strategy?
Consistency and strategy.
Okay,
so let me drop this bar to you.
Got you. I'm listening.
What plays are you running and what bars are you dropping? Okay. What plays are you running, which is your marketing.
Right.
What bars are you dropping is your content. Okay. So we talking about
that makes sense.
So every day you should be running plays, marketing. I usually post at nighttime. So I don't post in the daytime. I post like 8 or 9 o'clock now. I'm like an infomercial.
Right.
So I post at night.
Yeah.
And then as my reels, I post my reels for like podcasts like at noon, and I post the videos at noon.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal thing is I like to post at nighttime.
Yeah, I can post at nighttime.
Yeah, like 9 or 10 o'clock I post and I go to sleep and wake up, likes, comments, stuff like that.
Is it for the reason that knowing that usually at nighttime people are winding down
Yes.
and this is the last thing that they're doing before they go to sleep?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I just think it's hard because I do go to YouTube and say, okay, who watching me? Why they watching? How long they watching me? I'm looking at that, but I'm also knowing that they are controlling the analytics.
Right.
They controlling it. So to me, and that's why people was making all these reels. They was making money. It's like, we're not paying no more.
I remember that.
They cut it off. They cut it off quick.
I remember that.
You see what I'm saying? Because now people adapted. People was like, I'm gonna make a reel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So, and to me, I had people sit in this seat that had 1 million followers, barely making $500-$600
Really?
a month.
Wow.
So the problem is they don't have an offer.
Yeah.
So you're on social media, but you don't have nothing to sell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just putting the content out, but don't know why you're putting it out.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
And so like I don't make a
Me?
So I meet people, I was like, man, when you gonna get digital equity? They're like, what you mean digital equity? .com name.
Yeah.
That's your digital equity. And then on that page, on your home on the internet, you need to have something you're selling.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the secret.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real secret. And a lot of times people, they don't have, man, I meet so many entrepreneurs, they don't have no. Well, I'm on social media, bro. Social media. Okay. Let's focus a year or two on building your email list to 50, 70, 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And let's turn those subscribers 1%, 2%, 3% into customers.
Yeah.
But you got to be dripping on them.
Mm-hmm.
So then now you take those subscribers and you get their phone numbers, and now you got the SMS marketing.
Yeah.
So and I know because I studied this and I see it on my own thing. The open rate for email is usually anywhere from 35 to 55%. The open rate on phones is 98%.
Because people are always on their
phones. Open up that phone quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to use things like slick text, and there's a lot of different things you can use, but everybody on your phone should be on some kind of SMS, and you should be every month having some kind of sale, some kind of something that they can share. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the money at, man.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, I think you answered my question.
So, I mean, I just think that's where the money at, man. So if you can tell the last final words, you can look into that camera and tell the up-and-coming photographers why they should not quit with photography and why they should keep going.
Yeah, for sure. So you shouldn't quit, because if it's something that you truly want to do, first and foremost, I mean, I know that money is ultimately the goal, but don't make that the only goal. You know, definitely make it come from a place of love. If it's something that you love doing, you're gonna do it regardless. But also, you know, we talked about criticism earlier. Don't let that take you down. Don't let mistakes take you down. Trust me, I've made my share of them. There's been so many times I felt like a failure, but you have to take those, you know, you can't take those failures as losses. You know, there's only two things you do. You don't win and you lose. You either win and you learn. So you have to just keep learning. You have to, keep learning. Allow yourself to learn. Be an open book. Also, you know, just because you're great at it doesn't mean that you can't be better. I think a lot of times when it comes to mastering something, you know, you feel like you're at the top. No, a true master understands that he has to keep going. And to become a master, you have to be aware of that. Until you become aware of that, you'll never master the craft. And I think that's it.
Hey, man, listen, he dropped so many gems today. I will have all his information below. And remember, man, keep shooting.
Yes.
I tell people every day, you can't shoot if you ain't got a ball in your hand.
Nope.
So make sure you just keep shooting, keep grinding. Remember, watch me like you watch TV. You're going to watch your income grow. And your mindset will change.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.